What's going on? It's your boy Bowie here, aka the gregarious glaciologist. Yes, indeed. So this video is part 2 of what to do when you're playing fighting games. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about the second part of, my fighting game edict here. But this time I want to focus on what happens in the match. Okay? See, the first part of the video was talking primarily about what happens before the match. Before you even go and start playing people online, what should you be doing? What should you be focusing on? And so now what I want to do is I want to illustrate what you do when you're actually fighting people online. Okay? So, I'm going to try to keep this video short if I can, but I ain't going to make no promises. Okay. So, when you're actually fighting matches against people, one of the very first planks that you need to be aware of is this. All knowledge is power. Know yours and your opponent's frame data and game plan. So, in case you are unaware, your frame data is right here in this corner. The mouse is not active right now. Hold on. Okay, never mind. So my frame data is that little box in the corner. A couple videos ago, I was obsessing about my frame data not being turned on. And that was for a reason, because I need to know. I need to see my frame data. That makes me feel better, because I know what everything is. I know how fast things are, how slow things are, all that. So you need to know your character's best buttons, whether they're the fastest buttons like stand 1, the longest range buttons like stand 2. Of course, I'm speaking from the perspective of Sub-Zero because that's what I do. But apply this to your character. Your character's fastest mid, which for Sub-Zero is forward 1. His highest damage punish, which is stand 4. It's also 12 frames. You see? Know your character's frame data. Know how fast your poke is and how far it goes. See, I know that I can stand here and down 1 a fool with Sub-Zero. I can also down 3 a fool from here and down 4. You see that? I know that because I know my character. I know the range at which my character thrives and where he does not thrive. Sub-Zero does not thrive here. Sub-Zero would rather be here. At the closest, he'd rather be here. Okay? That way he can hit this, hit this, hit this, hit this. Because all those buttons are too slow for him to be here. I know that because the frame data tells me so. Okay? You need to know your opponent's frame data too. I know that Scorpion can hit me from out here. His stand 2 reaches further than mine does. I know his back 3 can hit me from all the way over here. And he has a full screen presence because his spear is 17 frames. I'm keenly aware of these things before I even play whoever my opponent is. Okay? The more you know about your character and your opponent's character, the better you're able to fight them. Speaking of fighting, a second plank from the edict today is have a game plan, but be prepared to abandon it at any time for a better one. Here's the thing. Some of you have a game plan, especially when you're starting out. Your game plan is jump in, do the biggest, illest combo you can come up with. So this is what y'all want to do. Some of you want to do this shit. Well, They want to jump in, do this big ill combo. Not even that one. They be wanting to jump in and spend meter and all this type of shit, right? And let me see. When they get here, motherfuckers want to jump, or they want to dash up and just start mashing and shit. They don't have a game plan for what happens when they're out here. They don't have a game plan for what happens when you're here. You know? And so some of your game plans are very simplistic and rudimentary. And those game plans will work against other novice players. But the moment you start playing someone that even is decent at the game, they're going to sniff that shit out from you, and they're going to stop you from doing anything you want to do. I have faced a number of my viewers and stuff like that, and they've been so geeked up to show me these combos that they be killing people with. However, when they fight me, they don't get to hit their combo. You know why? Because I don't let them. I'm keenly aware of their game plan before they even try to implement it. They want to do shit like this. 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 They want to try to mix between this and this because they think this is mix. I'm already peeping that. And it ain't just me. Other decent players will already be peeping that, and they ain't gonna let you do none of that shit. They just not. And the moment you realize that, and they stop you from doing your game plan, some of you are screwed because that was the only game plan you had. So, if you realize your opponent's not going to let you jump because they're going to up block you, use that to your advantage. Jump in and throw. If you realize your opponent is constantly guessing the mix right between overhead and low, start throwing them. Mix in some low, throw. Because the overhead's very visible and reactable. But you can't react to this. You can't react to this. After the opponent, and then also, don't forget you have a mid. If you have a character with a strong mid. You know what I'm saying? Use your mid. Stagger it. After a while, people are going to be so used to you fucking with this that now you can start sneaking in those overheads again. You see? But do things to switch up your game plan when you see that it's not working. Always be ready to abandon whatever you were doing to do something else if your opponent does not allow you to do so. Okay? Because some opponents ain't going to let you do what you think you was going to do. So then you do something else. Okay? Now, here's one thing that I think has been very important. It's been the key to my success with Sub-Zero and on YouTube. Use every possible tool in a character's arsenal. I said use every possible weapon in a character's arsenal. The only reason that I was able to figure out the universal clone setup is because I dared to do this string in the air and try to see what would happen if I did an ice clone after it. Because I realized that I had not seen anyone use any of... All the only strings I saw people using was this one and this one. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm seeing more people at least using this air string with sub, which is good. But people were only using this particular, the 1-1-2 string into that. And that's great, but I saw the hit reaction of 112, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's plus 41. That's 43 frames right there. What happens if I do a clone afterwards, you know? And once I did that clone and I realized, oh, this is actually safe, I knew I was on to something. But that only came because I dared to use something that nobody else was using. Now, let me say this, though. Not every weapon in a character's arsenal is worth using. There are some moves out there that have very limited or niche use scenario, like Sub-Zero's current ice ball. His ice ball is very slow. You can still use it sometimes. You can use it to control how the opponent reacts. Make them duck things. You know, stuff like that. So it's good for that. But the point of the matter is, if a character has a tool, you should make use of it. For me, two tools that I need to try to make more use of are Sub-Zero's 3-4 and Sub-Zero's 4-4. And the reason why I say that is because I recognize that that's -1. There's no way I can't use that. Even if, you know, I'm using block strings and shit like that, I'm pretty sure I can make use of that somehow. I really wish that this was his sweep. The end of this string, I wish that was his sweep rather than this. I mean, this move is good. I should use this too because it auto spaces. You know? So it has good spacing. So sometimes people will try to poke you after you do that. Notice how far it pushes me back. They poke, I do a mid, and then they die. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's utility in so many of these moves that a lot of people don't make use of. And so you need to be trying to use everything that's possible for your character to use. Okay? Here's something else as well. So these two, let me see. Okay. So these next two planks go together because they both have to do with what your opponent's doing in the match versus what you're doing. So one of the planks says capitalize on opponent's mistakes while minimizing your own. And then the other plank says grant the opponent every opportunity to err and be ready to punish them for it. So if they're going to make an error, you should give them the opportunity to make an error. Make them think that it's okay, for instance, for them to jump at you from this distance. Make them think it's all good. Make them think that it's all good to do that. Walk backwards when they jump. Because as you can see, we walk pretty much the same speed backwards as they jump forwards. You know? So as they jump forward, walk backwards and kill them. You ain't got to always up block. You ain't always got to try to anti-air. You can walk back and punish. You know what I'm saying? And this is something I really should have did, or really should have talked about in the match, but I'll save that for later. So make opponents think that it's okay for them to do the dumb thing. When they knock you down, make them think it's a good idea to wake up armor. Bait them to do it. Bait them. I wish a bitch would. Dash up, act like you're going to do something, and then block. So that they think, oh shit, I got an armor. And then when you block the armor, you kill them. You see what I'm saying? That's using both of those planks put together. Because what you've done is you've granted the opportunity for the opponent to make an error. You got the knockdown. They're desperate, so they're going to try to attack you. So what you do is dash up and act like you're going to attack them, especially if you get a close knockdown. You know what I'm saying? Because when you dash, they don't know that you're not going to attack them. You just got this slide. They're thinking you're doing this shit. That's what they think you're going to do. But instead you dashed up and then you blocked. You dashed up, blocked. And if they do nothing, then there's no harm done to you. They just got up and you're still blocking and you know, everything's all good. But if they actually did try to do something, their wake up's going to be unsafe and then you can punish them. By the way, when it says capitalize on your opponent's mistakes and be ready to punish them, please, fucking please know how to punish your opponent's shit. I cannot tell you how many times I see people failing to punish shit that's unsafe. Now I have Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, ooh, wow. Sub-Zero punishes that spear. He punishes the spear. From full screen, he punishes that. So if you play Sub-Zero and the Scorpion ever throws a spear, that should be 11% of their health right there. No excuses. Ain't no excuse for that shit. If you're playing out here, you know the Scorpion is going to throw a spear at some point. And all you got to do is wait for it. If they throw a spear, that should be their whole ass. And here's the other thing. If you duck a spear, be ready to dash up and get a full punish. You know what I'm saying? If you jump over, be ready to punish. No matter what happens in the match, be ready to punish. You know what I'm saying? And you hit them with the most optimal, juiciest damage punish, excuse me, that you have. This segues into something else. Consistent is greater than optimal. Allow me to explain what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So, I'm Sub-Zero. And, being dumb. Sub-Zero has optimal combos. So Sub-Zero's optimal combo is something to the effect of this right here. That's optimal. So if he does a combo with any starter, optimal, ideally you'd be wanting to do this. But I want you to notice what just happened. I dropped the optimal combo. I dropped it again. I'm not trying to drop it. I'm not doing it to make a point. See, that's the optimal. That's 390 right there. You see what I'm saying? So that is the optimal combo. But here's the problem with optimals sometimes. In so many instances, your optimal combo is a combo that you can and will drop in the heat of battle. Because it's not consistent. You see what I'm saying? You need to hit the biggest damage combo that you can consistently do. Your bread and butter combo, B and B, should be the biggest damage combo that you can consistently connect. Now notice, that wasn't 390, that was 381. But the difference between this and the optimal is that even in the worst connection, I can hit this. And I'm going to consistently get 38% of their health, as opposed to dropping the optimal joint and only getting 33. You see what I'm saying? I dropped that, and I'm recovering from the stand 4 that I didn't hit. Now, the other optimal would be to replace stand 4 with stand 3. That's more consistent because stand 3 is faster than stand 4 is. That's more consistent than this, but it's not nearly as consistent as stand 1, 2 into that. It's not nearly as consistent, because I will tell you that I've played matches and I've dropped stand 3. Yes, I have. I've dropped it. And when you're in the heat of battle, you don't want to be dropping a goddamn thing. You don't want to have to worry about whether that's going to hit, because if you're worried about whether it's going to hit or not, that means it's probably not going to hit. You're going to drop it, and then you're going to lose the damage opportunity and possibly lose the round or match or set. And that's not what you want. So you need to find the most optimal B&B combo that you can consistently hit. For me, for Sub-Zero, it's that. Okay? And there's other optimals as well that can be done. Oh, I didn't know if that worked. Huh. I'm happy that that worked. So I could end things with that as well. That'd be better for characters that I want some distance from. But yeah. So you have to practice these combos. And that's why I mentioned in my last video that you should go online. Or I'm sorry, you should go offline. You should go to towers. You should go to regular versus mode against the CPU. You should go to invasions and do all those pointless ass matches. Those matches don't got to be pointless. You can use them for combo practice. Use those CPUs for combo fodder. That way you can get your timing down perfect. You see what I'm saying? And it's low stakes. If you lose against the CPU, you can fight them again. And you ain't got to worry about them getting mad and teabagging. Or you ain't got to get mad about them doing a one and done, and then you got to wait to find somebody else to fight and all that type of shit. No. You get to control all the parameters. You fight the computer, and if they beat you, they beat you. If they don't, they don't. Hell, you ain't even got to leave. You can fight the computer right the fuck here. Look at that. The computer's fighting me right now. You ain't even got to leave practice mode. I could just fight them fools right here in the practice mode. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. Ooh, dummy. See that? So notice, I'm just out here doing what I normally do, just practicing against the computers. Ooh. Look at that. Punish. Oh my god. Input reading, bitch. Oh, I tried to goddamn. Wow. And if you don't want to see, I ain't want to see no damn fatal blow, so I said fuck that. But notice, you don't even have to leave the practice room to have combat, you see? And so if you want to practice your combos against a live person right here in the practice mode, you can do that. Okay? But understand that consistent will always be better than optimal every single time. All right? Now, let me say something else too as it pertains to combos. Combos are great. Combos are nice. But combos will never be more important than your ability to control what happens between you and your opponent. I want you to notice, here's Sub-Zero and there's Scorpion. Do you notice that pink plant and the tree and the other pink plant that are between us? That space is called the neutral. That's neutral right there. You need to control what happens in that space between you and your opponent. The better you're able to control that, the more likely you are to win. Even if you drop every combo, even if you don't know any fancy combos, if you are the one that is exclusively controlling what happens in this region of the screen between you and your opponent, you will more than likely win the match. Once again, I've played a whole bunch of people, viewers of my channel. Some of them wanted to lab with me and talk. Some of them were just shit talking, thinking that that shit was sweet, and then they found out that it wasn't. And what people have found when they fight me is I do not allow them to do what they want to do. They don't get to just walk up on me or jump at me or dash up and get in my face. Hell no. I control this screen. I try my very utmost to control the shit out of this space here. I'm using my Ice Punch. I'm using my Deadly Vapors. I'm using Serena. I'm using lots of Serena. I'm using Ice Clone. I'm controlling everything. I'm not letting the opponent do nothing for granted. Every step they take, they're going to have to earn the right to take that step towards me. Why? Because if they step wrong, they're going to get fucked up. You see? And so many of you are not doing this, not because there's anything wrong with you, but because you're very early in your Mortal Kombat journey. And that's okay. But you're going to learn that if you can control the space between you and your opponent, you're going to wind up winning. And that doesn't mean you're always throwing projectiles either. Controlling the space also means using your furthest range normals. So when someone's running up on me and I know they finna close distance, it's 2-1. It's 2-1 for them. Because I'm not going to let them get this close. I'm going to stop them when they're here. You see? Or it's down 3, or it's down 1, or it's down 4 into clone. You know what I'm saying? One tool I can be making more use of is this, as a space control tool. Not because I'm trying to do anything, but because I don't want them to think they can just run up on me like this. Bitch, no. You gotta watch your toes. You gotta watch them toes, boy. Because if you don't, you're gonna get clipped. And I can put up a clone now. You see? You don't want to really do that. But you clip them, and then there's a clone. Or you advance. You see what I'm saying? But the point of what I'm getting at is, it needs to be you determining what obstacles your opponent has to get around in order to even get to you. If you're the one that created the playground, you get to decide how the kids interact with it. You determine whether they're swinging, whether they're climbing on monkey bars, whether they're sliding down slides and shit like that. You need to create the obstacle course for your opponent. Do not let them just run up on you for free and jump in on you and get to you whenever and however they can. Do not do that. Don't do that. Control that space. Okay? The reason why I say that is because if you control that space, by the time you get to hit your combo, you done took so much of their health out before they even got to you. Now when you actually do your combo means that much more. I mean, yes, I know my combo did 350, but because I already chipped them down so much, they have less than 200. They have less than 20% health left, just because I controlled space. You see what I'm saying? So control that space before you even think about trying to do combos and all that bullshit. Okay? So I only have 2 more planks because I don't want this video to get too long. Okay? But I need another character. I need another character to illustrate this with. I made a video about this character recently. A character I don't even play. Reiko. Because I want to illustrate some shit. Okay? So what I'm going to do... I don't even know what his move is. So I got that. Hold on. Recording too. Whoops, hold on. I fucked that up. Okay, and then with the playback, playback random hidden. Okay. So I made a video about Reiko, and I did that because I don't like the idea of NRS taking a move like that and killing it and stopping it from even being viable. Right? But I was very surprised to see the pro-nerf attitude from people. All because they don't want to do what I'm doing right now. What I'm modeling that is easy for you to do. Notice what I'm doing. I'm just walking. I ain't even jump, because if I jump, I die. Right? If I jump, I'm getting clipped. But all I'm doing is walking, ducking, blocking, and already I'm in his face. I'm in his face. And this is not new shit. There's nothing new or revolutionary about this. You could always do this. Actually, let me re-record that second joint. Look at that. You see how I'm just able to effortlessly get in? This is the elite zoning. This is the top tier zoning that people were so happy Reiko didn't have anymore. I don't even have to press a button to defeat it. And that's just universal shit. Notice what Sub-Zero can do. Well, let me see. That's Sub-Zero defeating the move right there. And you know if Sub-Zero can do it, Noob, Natara, and Kung Lao can defeat it in exactly the same manner. You see? So you ain't even gotta be... You don't even have to get all the way here. All you gotta do is get here. And then if they jump again, bam. Wait for them to jump. Oh, you thought it was sweet? There you go. You're dead now. Now, why am I showing all this? What was the point of me demonstrating that? The point of me demonstrating it is to illustrate one very simple and powerful plank that some of you really need to understand. Well, two things. Just because something is annoying does not make it broken, and it does not mean that it deserves to be nerfed. That's the first plank. And then the very last plank is this. Adapt or lose. Adapt or lose. Do you see how I was able to just effortlessly get past Reiko zoning? It's not particularly difficult. And yes, I know this is the practice room. Hold on. I know that it's practice. And I know I'm stepping on some people's toes right now, but I don't give a damn because this needs to be said. Because this is the truth. Like, some of y'all really was out here happier than a pig in shit that this character's projectile move got gutted the way it did. Wow, I don't know why it's fucking up like that. What the hell? Hold on a second. I don't know why it's doing that random ass kick. Yeah, so anyway, notice it's not particularly difficult, and I'll put myself at full screen again just so that y'all understand that this shit is not like, there's nothing special about what I'm doing here. This is not some pie in the sky thing that you can't do. You can literally, anyone in the game can literally walk up and defeat Reiko zoning. This zoning was not even what made the character top tier, but so many of you didn't want to adapt to the idea that maybe instead of dashing all the time, maybe instead of dash blocking, you could just walk. You can just walk. And maybe you'll get clipped every now and again, but the damage that you get is going to be better. Hi, baby. Hi. Being here with your boy while I record.
I gotta work.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say hello.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Ain't nothing like a good luck kiss from the wifey. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But anyway, yeah. So, she done took my whole train of thought away, as well as my breath. Jesus. That's my baby, though. But anyway, some of you really don't want to do this. Like, you refuse to do this thing that I'm showing you that you can do. And I get it, it's online. You might not be able to flawless block these things consistently. I'm not. But if you do enough of this, the Reiko's gonna have to do something. So if someone's spamming these fireballs, as some of y'all claim that he does, the solution is very simple. Don't do shit. You see that? Look at that. Well, stop. See that? Oh, my offense has started now. You see that? Well, that wouldn't have worked, but look at that. That wasn't even no real goddamn combo. I just walked. That's all I did. All I did was walk and duck. That's all I did. That's all it takes to defeat the so-called best zoner in the game that some people claim that this was. Somebody said Reiko was the best zoner in this game. And here I am, not even pressing any buttons, and I'm getting past it. He only has those two projectiles, so getting past his zoning ain't shit. But I'm illustrating this not because I'm talking about Reiko, but because I'm talking about this mentality that people have where motherfuckers don't want to adapt to what the opponent does. Some opponents have annoying tools, and these tools are going to be very aggravating, and these strategies are going to be very aggravating. Some people are just going to walk away and throw projectiles and run away. They're just going to do that. But literally, if I just do this, notice I ain't pressing no buttons. I'm just using my directions, using my D-pad. If I just use my D-pad, I can defeat their whole strategy and cause them to have to do something else. See, what happens is when you adapt to the opponent's playstyle, then they got to do something different. Then they have to do the thing. They may have to do the thing that you originally wanted them to do. Because if you got somebody that loves to zone and you got them to stop zoning, now they got to go out their comfort zone. Now they got to jump in, or now they got to try to do offense when they weren't trying to do that. So the victory's now going to come to you instead of you going to it. You see what I'm saying? Excuse me. The victory is coming to you because you decided to adapt. But had you not decided to adapt, if you just try to block everything, they'd have chipped you out. Oh, that's so interesting. That's so interesting. Okay. So because I'm just defeating their stuff. Oh, I didn't mean to jump. Jesus Christ. Because I'm just doing my things with the D-pad. Just straight D-pad play, you know. I ain't doing nothing crazy. Hold on. Reset on playback? Nah. Well, no. Random hidden. Yeah. So, yeah. Like, he's just doing his things. And because I'm adapting, now he got to spend some meter now. Look, I done made Reiko spend all his bar. And now look. Oh. Ooh, little bitch. You thought you was going to do something, huh? Oh, you thought you was getting out the corner, huh? Oh, no. Nah, no corner for you, sir. You know what I'm saying? Now you done cornered them because they were spamming. They were spamming this crazy projectile that some of y'all thought was so broken. They spammed it and you countered them because you adapted to them. And because you adapted to their spam, now they've given you the victory. Okay? The entire plank is adapt or lose. Spam only defeats the unprepared or the inflexible. If you don't know how to adapt, if you can't change some of what you're doing to accommodate what the opponent is doing, or you're just not prepared for somebody to do this over and over, and you say, oh, he's spamming a damn ice punch, or he's spamming a damn clone, or he's spamming Serena, he's spamming. If you see that your opponent is spamming those things, and you had no idea that they could do that in this game, you're asking to lose. You know what I'm saying? Be prepared for anything. You might have an opponent that does this the whole match. Be ready for anything. Be ready for anything. Okay? Because the more prepared that you are for your opponent to do a weird thing, the better off you'll be. Be prepared for your opponent to play in ways that you don't like. Be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. That way you can actively fight against it rather than whining about it. Because I understand NRS has acquiesced to a lot of whining, but they ain't going to acquiesce to everything. Okay? And you can whine about a particular thing, but after a certain point, there's certain things that are just going to be present in this game that you're not going to like. And it's not going to go away. So you have to learn how to adapt to it anyway. You dig what I'm saying? But alas, this video has gone on long enough. I just wanted to make sure that I dropped off this nugget of wisdom, or these nuggets of wisdom, on you. That way you can proceed on your fighting game journey, whether it's with Mortal Kombat and Sub-Zero, or it's Street Fighter, or any other two-dimensional fighting game. And I specify two-dimensional fighting games because 3D fighters have an entirely different, environment that's not really as conducive to a lot of this. But even in those 3D fighters, a lot of this stuff still applies. Okay? But I wanted to make sure that you all were more prepared than I was when I was doing this. Okay? But with that being said, I'll catch y'all later. Stay froze.